Hey guys, it's Plant Genius. Welcome back. Today we're gonna be talking about some more roots or different types of roots or adaptations of plants more so. So we're gonna be talking about tubers. And when you think of tubers, think like potatoes or sweet potatoes or even dahlias. But there's different types of tubers, but we're gonna get into that. So let's go. Okay. So you have our tubers, right? So what tubers are in the sense of like potatoes, our tubers are modified stems, right? So we went over what a stem is. So a stem is just the a part of the shoot system, and that's where we have auxiliary buds housed that produce leaves or can produce roots, depending on the environment that it's in. And with tubers, for potatoes, like they store up. What they'll do is they'll have like the leaves come out from like the eyes or the auxiliary buds that are on the tuber, and that grows like that new growth, and then that's your plant, right? And because this is the stem and it has auxiliary buds, that's why if you propagate it by like propagate again is creating another plant from another plant, rather seeds, which is sexually, or like propagation by like cutting, which is asexually. This would be more so asexual. If you cut it in half, you can grow another plant from like a piece of potato as long as it has that auxiliary bud in it, because that'll grow a whole other system, and these will become more potatoes, right? So what the whole things about tubers is they're just a big storage unit pretty much. So this is housing a bunch of like starch and a bunch of sugars, and this will be a house in there and used as stored energy, because again, like the whole point of roots are to absorb and store nutrients from the soil, right? And to get those sugars stored from the leaves too, so that all that gets housed inside the roots and gets used for the plants to build things or to use it for other parts of the plant to develop and grow, right? So that's tubers in the potato sense. So again, these are modified stems, not roots, right? But then when we go to our, like, if we're looking like dahlia plants, right, they'll have tubers, which are modified roots. So now these are really just big storage units apart from the other type of roots that they'll have. So they'll have like some roots come out and shoot up, but then they'll have like these big storage units, like these big tubers. And these are what will be like where the nutrients are housed in. And you'll see that like when you pull them up, you'll see like some really thick, chunky roots. And then you'll see some like other like little thinner roots coming out. So that's kind of the difference between these. So like for dahlia, they're more so just modified roots. But for potatoes, they're modified stems. So that's why you can propagate these, but it's different with these because it's just roots. You can't just come and propagate them and cut these up. These are different. These are stems and these are roots. So there's a difference. So that's kind of like a little bit of our overview over tubers. And again, there's just stored sugar, and they have auxiliary buds when it's a potato or a sweet potato. And then, these auxiliary buds, like we showed earlier, they'll grow either leaves or roots, depending on the environment it's in. And then, it'll grow up. Then it'll grow up and become the plant. But for dahlias, the tubers in this sense are just modified roots, and they just store nutrients and are used later for now big energy intensive things that the plants needs to like actually grow. They'll take all that sort of energy and use that for growth and development. So that's kind of like the whole little diagram. So I hope you guys kind of got a little bit from that. Again, it's just nice to know like the different types of like roots and stems that like our plants have, so you can understand how they work and how you can work them for you, right? And again, it's just important, because if you don't know what you're doing, if you lack the knowledge and understanding of like your plant types and how they work, you might end up killing your plants or not realizing the resources that you have at hand. You might end up wasting them or squandering them. So again, I thank you guys for watching, and remember to like and subscribe and to follow, guys. And remember, stay tuned. And I may be a plant genius, but you can be a plant genius too. Peace.